You're listening to Music Tectonics.
Hey, this is Dmitri with Music Tectonics at Midem, and I literally am at the CD Baby reception along the beach, and I ran into Emma McGann, an artist who's a CD Baby artist, and her manager, James Plester, and they're doing something really interesting with Amazon Smartspeakers, Amazon Alexa, Alexa Skills, and I thought it would be fun to bring them right into the podcast. So we're actually hiding in a closet at the reception.
We are.
It's the quietest spot we could find. So Emma, you've got a release coming up here.
Yes, I have a new single called Misfits, which is out on June 14th, which I'm very excited about. We put a lot of work in, and a part of that kind of work was how can we kind of get the fans involved in what we're doing with the single, how can we get them excited. And one of the things I discovered while doing live streaming, which is what I do to kind of reach an audience, is that a lot of them have smart speakers in their home. And I found this out from talking to my own at home, and it was setting everybody else's off on the live stream. Because of course they have their speakers on at home, and it just sets everybody's Alexa off.
So what was happening on the live stream? What would be said in
So I think, so we have some lights at home in our house, that Philips Hue lights that we turn on and off, which look beautiful, and then all of a sudden everybody in the live stream all their lights were changing, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. But it suddenly occurred to me that a lot of my audience have smart speakers, so what could we do to really promote the new single and really use the kind of Alexa as a tool to kind of not only promote the new single but get the fans engaged in a new way that they've never been engaged with any artist before.
Amazing. So what did you do from there?
So we developed a skill. I'll pass on to James if you want to describe exactly what we did with that process.
Yeah, so we looked into how to develop a skill from the Amazon developer.
So since our audience is pretty broad, what is a skill? What are you talking about?
Okay, so the best way I'd say to describe it is an Alexa skill is like an app for a phone. So it's like an addition to what the device can already do, and it allows it to do something that it wouldn't normally do from scratch, like the basic. So we created a skill called Emma McGann Backstage. So if you say into your Alexa device, Alexa, enable skill Emma Backstage, it opens up the skill, and we kind of wanted to make a great narrative and something for the fans to engage with, where they can come back daily. And especially with the release up to the new single.
Great. So what's the experience for the user?
So the user kind of logs in for the first time. They get greeted by Emma. They get offered 3 different options. So you can either listen to a sneak peek of the new single, and the new single is kind of based around this really hook whistle. So we kind of gave a little sneak peek that you can't hear anywhere else apart from on this skill. And then also it kind of has a countdown. So every day you log in, it tells you how many days left until the new release comes out. The second thing you can do is a finish the lyric game. So it takes Emma's back catalogue, and it kind of takes snippets of the songs and then stops, and you have to finish the lyric and get that correct. And then the last thing is a daily songwriting secret. So part of what Emma does is she has a YouTube series where she does songwriting tips for beginners, teaches people how to help write songs. And so every day you can log in and you can get a little tip. It's probably 2 to 3 minutes of audio content from Emma, where you can log in and kind of learn something new. And when you exit the skill, it's a call to action that reminds you to play Emma's music. So it says, Alexa actually says, don't forget to say, Alexa, play Emma McGann. When you exit the skill every time. So people are logging in every day, and then when they actually exit the skill after they've done everything for the day, they get reminded again to play Emma's music.
Amazing. So have you already started to get some traction and see some results with this, or is it too early to say?
So we're only kind of 2 days from launch. So we do get great analytics from Amazon. You get amazing analytics, which shows you the system's built on what are called intents. So you can kind of see what people are saying in a way. But the kind of analytics we've had so far have been great. The fan reaction's been really overwhelming because they get to hear this bit of the song that they haven't heard yet. And a lot of them almost already know the song, or they know the hook line of the song before it's even out. So it's been great so far.
So let's for our listeners, if they want to try this out, what's the first thing they say to their Alexa speaker?
If you say, Alexa, enable skill Emma backstage, it will then ask you if you'd like to launch a skill, and you just say yes, and you're straight in.
Great. And then from there, it cues you for the rest of it.
It cues you for the rest of it.
Yeah.
It kind of guides you through, and it loops you round, and so you can try everything.
And how hard was it for you to build this yourself?
It was so a friend of mine helped on the coding side, and it was a bit of a learning curve at first because we'd never developed a skill. It was very well laid out. It was kind of based for like web developers. So if you've done any web developing, I think you'll be quite familiar with a lot of the back end. It wasn't too complicated. In fact, it took us about 4 days in total to code from start to finish, and that included writing the narrative. So it wasn't too complicated, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Wow. And had you heard of other artists doing this yet?
So currently, the only artist that I could find when I looked on the Alexa skill store was Paloma Faith and Little Mix.
And did you play with their skills?
I did. I had to go around and kind of had a look at what they were doing, and got some ideas from there. Yeah.
What are their approaches?
So especially on the Little Mix one, it's like a question answer. So there's like 10 questions you have to answer about Little Mix, and they ask you all the questions, and you kind of get them right or wrong. I had to go. My knowledge on Little Mix isn't great, so I didn't do that well, but it was great to try out.
That's great. So Emma, have you ever done anything like this before, where you're kind of like on the cutting edge of kind of using some kind of consumer technology that you think will engage with your fans?
We've definitely tried to take an unconventional approach in everything that we do. We're very well aware of the noise that surrounds you as an independent artist particularly, so we're always trying to think outside of the box. With live streaming, that's something that I've done for the past 5 years or so, and that's really kind of garnered me a worldwide audience, and I've noticeably it's something that not a lot of artists are doing, so I've definitely kind of pioneered that kind of avenue and tried to encourage other artists to do the same if they want that additional income, if they have the time. So yeah, we try and use new tech where we can. We did a virtual reality 180 music video last year. Wow. As well. We found that virtual reality was a space that we really wanted to kind of delve into. So we've done 180, and we're going to do 360 this year as well, with HTC Vive in some way or another. But yeah, we're always on the kind of lookout for how we can really integrate new tech with what we do.
What's the platform you use for live streaming, or do you use multiples?
So I use a platform called YouNow. They're based out of New York, and they really have a very dedicated team who really want to kind of push forward new artists, get them in front of the right people, and not just artists, also personality-driven content creators as well. So it's not just music-focused, it's also based on comedians or people who just want to go live and interact with people from Instagram or wherever. So online personalities as well. But yeah, we've always been a huge fan of the team over there, and they've done a lot for us. So yeah, YouNow is a fantastic platform that we
And that
use.
one you monetize with, is it like emojis or reactions? What is it exactly?
So the content is totally free to watch, but if audiences enjoy, they can choose to tip using, I guess you could call them like animated emojis that pop up over the screen. So the whole experience is participation media. So the audience aren't left to just sit back and watch. They can lean in to the content and actually be a part of it and have an imprint in what you do. And a part of that is, of course, the tipping aspect, but another part is the chat. They can actually talk to you, and those barriers are kind of taken down, and they all of a sudden have that direct communication to an artist, which is something that they don't really usually have, even through social media.
Yeah, we did an episode, we interviewed a woman named Karen Allen. So listeners who want to dig in a little more on YouNow and also Twitch live streaming, she does a great explanation of that in a episode about 5 or 10 episodes back as well. So, and then what do you do in terms of getting your releases out? How are you going about that?
We've always been quite strategic in what we do when it comes to a single release. So we always do a lot of pre-save campaigns, a lot of kind of time leading up to the release day. I think is really important for every artist to kind of, really kind of make momentum, and keep the momentum going throughout the campaign. I think that's really important to get your audience excited, because anyone can release a song these days and drop it into what would essentially be a dark void, and it will be like listened to maybe for the first day and lost forever. What you want to do is, really keep that momentum going through the pre-save campaign, and then so much more after that with additional content that's linked to your single. Well, previous and after the campaign as well. I think that's really important.
And this release that's coming out now is coming through CD Baby, and that's how you're reaching out to the DSPs, streaming services?
Yeah, that's right. So we're through CD Baby. The single's called Misfits, and it's out on June 14th.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for jumping in the closet at this party here in Cannes in France. Hope you guys are having a great Midem. And to our listeners, thanks for listening to Music Tectonics. Please hit the subscribe button and check out musictectonics.com to find out about our conference that we're doing, Music Tectonics, October 28th and 29th in Los Angeles. Sign up for our newsletter to get a $50 discount code to the conference. This is the type of stuff we're going to be talking about at the conference. We're going to have some incredible marketing panels about how to use technology in marketing and lots of other stuff. It's not totally oriented towards artists, but if you're the type of artist that does this, you'll probably pick up some good tips. We'll have a lot of stuff oriented towards record labels, startups, and so forth at the conference. Thanks so much for listening to Music Tectonics. Thanks to Emma and James for joining me, and stay tuned for more of Music Tectonics from Midem.
You're listening to Music Tectonics.